All right, welcome back, eSIM Studios. Have a new layout here. Let me get the lighting just right. Whew, that's bright. Sorry about that. All right, welcome back. So I kind of switched up camera angles, stuff like that. So if it looks a little different, well, you know, no. Quick episode today. Could not skip it. So we have huge news, big news. Let me turn this music down because I want y'all to hear this loud and clear. I want you to hear this loud and clear. We have big news today, right? Again, going to be a quick episode. I'm going to upload this replay clips. If you missed this or missed the first part, second half, whatever, you can always go back and catch the replay, right? So it appears, let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any time whatsoever. So, and it's Samsung news. What do you know? Samsung news. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I'm moving stuff around and I just had an idea pop in my head. I apologize. Okay. So let's get to it. So, yesterday, we discussed, was it yesterday or the day before? We discussed the Samsung Galaxy S25 Slim. Right? I don't know if they're going to call it the S25 Slim or S25 SE for special edition. Kind of like how they did with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 SE. It's a slimmer version. It's a much slimmer version. So they might call it S25 Slim. They might call it S25 SE. I don't know. But whatever it is. We had mentioned in the last live stream, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, up until today, we thought and had leaked sources saying that the S25, look, maybe they watched my video because I kind of blasted them for this. They had originally planned on releasing the S25 Slim in the second quarter of 2025, meaning 3 to 4 months after the release of the S25 series. So there's an unpacked event here, I believe on January 22nd. Samsung's gonna release the S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra, and then somewhere around May they were gonna release the S25 Slim. And I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because if you're considering getting the S25 Slim, well, let's say you don't want to wait and you possibly need a new phone. So like, screw it. Well, let me just get the S25 Plus or S25. Well, you're not going to be interested in the S25 Slim if that's the case, right? It did not make sense. It eliminates a large number of people that were potentially, because we don't know much about it. Right? So are you going to potentially skip the pre-order sales and the pre-order deals on one of these new S25 models and wait for an S25 Slim that we really don't have that much information on? Probably not. You're probably going to get one of the S25 models, and then that'll eliminate, again, a large number of people that were potentially going to get the Slim version. Well. Some news today totally flip-flops that all around. Totally puts that upside down on its head. And again, look, in my videos, if I do a clip about a Samsung topic, I at Samsung. If I do a Google Pixel topic, I at Google. Now, I do know for sure that I have a few Google employees that subscribe to the channel. And it looks like we might have some Samsung people subscribing to the channel, because today What do you know? The S25 Slim is going to be launched alongside the other S25 models. That's correct. The S25 Slim are no longer going to be released at a later date. It's going to be released with the other S25 models. Boy, that's a big sigh of relief. So now you're not going to have to guess. You're not going to have to wonder. You're not going to have to, because damn, if you miss these pre-order sales, they got some pretty good deals, right? And you would miss out on that for a S25 Slim that you may or may not want. Well, now you'll be able to make a decision and purchase the S25 Slim. Now, what we don't know about the S25 Slim, they are going to make a limited quantity. So chances are this is not set in stone, not confirmed, but I can basically tell you S25 Slim is not going to be sold in carriers, right? If they're making limited quantities, it's going to be a Samsung exclusive, meaning you can only buy it on the Samsung website, and you have to buy it unlocked. You will not come with a carrier deal. You can't go into T-Mobile and trade in your device to get it like the other S25 models. It's going to be it's going to be a Samsung exclusive where you have to buy it online and unlocked. Now you can still finance it through Samsung financing, or you can buy it outright. But here's the cool thing. We do know the thickness, and we do know, here's an interesting fact. We do know the cameras, so to speak. So the S25 and S25 Plus have a different camera setup than the S25 Ultra. It sucks. They should put all the cameras that are on the Ultra should be on the regular models, but they don't do that. We do know that the S25 Slim is going to have the same camera setup as the S25 Ultra. Now, it's not going to have, it's going to have the main flagship sensors that the S25 Ultra has. So it's going to come with that 200 megapixel camera. So it's going to have a fantastic camera setup, better than the S25 and S25 Plus. And it's going to be just over 6 millimeters thick. Now, the others, I think, are going to be at 7.9, something like that. So it's going to be about a 1.5 millimeters thinner. But it's going to be a 6.7 inch display. It'll be decked out. It'll have the 6.7 inch, same size as the S25 Plus. It'll just be thinner, and it will have a S25 Ultra camera setup. That looks like the phone to get. I think now with this news today, I think that's the one I'm going to get. Honestly, if it's available, right? Limited quantities, could be sold out. We have no idea. So we will definitely stay on top of that. That is huge news and very, very good news for all Samsung fans and people that wanted to potentially buy that device. Now you're going to have the chance, right? Now, we mentioned the Z Fold 6 SE, right? And some other news came out in regards to the foldables. Doesn't look good for foldables, especially for Samsung. So what Samsung is going to do is reduce the amount of foldables produced, meaning manufactured, ultimately leading in a reduced sales number. So each year when they first started, they're on the 6th generation. They actually were gaining ground. Every year they released a new foldable, they were getting more. They were selling more and more of them. That includes the Flip and the Fold. The 5 series, Z Flip 5, Z Fold 5, was the very first year they saw a slight decline in sales, meaning total number of units sold for each model. And then the 6 series came along and it nosedived. They sold a considerable less amount of foldables this year, the 6 series, than they did the year before with the 5 series. So they were going on an incline every year, and then when the 5 came out, slow decline, and then when the 6 came out, it basically nosedived. So why is that? A few reasons. And I have experienced some of those reasons. So personally, they are very fragile. Very, very fragile. The screen is basically plastic. It's not glass. So it breaks easier. Very delicate. If you are somebody that works outside, I don't suggest you getting one. It's basically a fun device to have, but I would not recommend it as your daily driver, right? So if you're just a person that buys one phone and one phone only, I would not recommend it. That's why the insurance on those devices, if you get insurance through Samsung, they're higher. It's higher. I just had a payment go through. It was $18, I believe, for insurance for the Flip, and then for like a regular phone, for like an S24 Plus, it's like $12. So it's more expensive because they break more often. I had a Z Flip 4. It fell indoors on not even a tile, not even hardwood floor. It's a what do you call the in the bathroom? The floors in the bathroom, not tile, whatever. It's a hard material, but it's like linoleum. I think that's the name, linoleum, whatever. Should not break a phone. So it fell from a counter, basically 3 to 4 feet, and busted the screen. I've had many other phones. There's one spot I always put my phones, and for some reason it's so smooth and it just glided right off the side. I've had numerous phones fall from that same spot. Don't ask me why I put phones in that. I continue to put phones in that same spot. I have no idea. It's just I'm in a hurry and I just put the phone down, and all the other phones I've had that fallen from that same spot, nothing ever happens. Probably a total of like 20 times with other phones. Never happened. This one, bam. So they're very delicate. They break easy. You have kids in the house, I don't recommend getting one because they bend it, pop. So that's one reason. Other reason is that there's so much competition now. So Samsung was like the OG of foldables. Now, actually, I guess Motorola was, like with the StarTAC and stuff like that. But I'm talking about today's generation. Samsung made it popular again, but it makes me wonder. So there's so much so Motorola brought back these flips. Huawei, who doesn't sell in the US, has foldables. Who am I missing? Who has foldable phones? Y'all might be able to help me out. Motorola, Huawei, Oppo. I think the foldable Wave is not as strong as it could be. And here's the other weird thing. These specs, they did not put the very best specs on these foldable devices, right? When they first came out. Like, they put old hardware, old sensors for the cameras. They don't put the best flagship sensors on the Fold series, which is a $2,000 device. If you're going to buy a $2,000 device, it better have the very best of everything you can offer. They don't do that. And the Flip, they had it on 8 gigs of RAM forever. Like the 6 series, they just put 12 gigs of RAM in. So it's like they're not even taking it serious. And they just now starting to put top of the line specs in it, but it's basically too late because it seems like this wave is over. So they've had major declining sales these last 2 years, and what they're going to do is for the 6 series, they mass produced basically 9 million foldables, and that's Z Flip 6 and Z Fold 6 together. So 9 million. They produced 9 million foldables for those two models. Now, they're only planning to produce 6 million for the Fold 7 and Flip 7. So they're reducing it by like, what, 30%? I mean, that's a huge decrease. So it doesn't look like they're expecting sales to be that high. Now, it makes me wonder, what about when Apple comes out with theirs? I'm sure it's going to be a massive hit, and it could go very well for the first few years, just like Samsung. With Samsung, when these first came out, it was a huge deal. It was a big deal. And then the fifth year comes around, and the sales kind of, the fourth year comes around, and the sales kind of plateau. And then the fifth year comes out, and then sixth year comes out, and nosedives. I think Apple's is going to be a huge hit just because they have so many customers, right? Apple sells way more phones than any other company, and their fanfare is much more. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how Apple, over these next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, how their strategy kind of evolves. Because make no mistake about it, they're coming out with a Flip, they're coming out with an iPad foldable, they're coming out with foldables. They're making them, and you will see the first iPhone Flip possibly next year, but more than likely it'll be in the year, what is it, 2026 is on target to be the first year for the iPhone. So that would not be released with the iPhone 17 series this upcoming year. It would be with the iPhone 18 series. So it'll be very interesting to see how that device evolves over time, and if people are if Apple fans are still going to support it 4 years into existence, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years into existence. And I don't really know where the foldables are going to go with Samsung. Are they going to continue to sell less and less? Was the high point for the foldables the 4th generation? That was the highest seller for them. And ironically, that was the worst one. The Z Fold, and that might have been the turnaround. The Z Flip 4 was so bad, it was quite possibly the worst phone I've ever owned. And I don't say that lightly, because here is the issue: the battery life and the charging speeds. The battery life was so bad, and I know this was for every single Flip 4 owner. The battery life was so bad. I woke up in the morning, it was dead. I had to charge it. Well, it wasn't dead. It was probably down to like 10%. I had to charge it by lunchtime. By lunchtime, we're only talking about 3-4 hours. And here's the problem: it did charge so slow, you could not fully charge it for the rest of the day. The only time you can get a full charge is while you're sleeping. So you wake up with a full battery, 8 or 9 a.m. By lunchtime, by 12 o'clock, by noon, in the 12 o'clock hour between 12 and 1, time to charge it. I'm at 11%. Time to charge it. I'm at 7%. Time to charge it. Damn, it's almost dead. And you would be stuck to a cable for the rest of the day. And I'm not joking. It was the slowest charging speeds I can remember in a long, maybe ever. It took forever. And then it was stuck on the charger for the rest of the day, and it was a pain in the ass to own. I think so many people had a bad experience with the Flip series. On the 4th generation, when the 5th came out, that's when they started seeing the sales decline. I don't want to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm going to move on to another device. And then the 6 series came out, and their sales nosedived. So Samsung is planning on producing much, much less foldables this year because they're expecting bad sales, quite honestly. And as you can tell here, I forgot to change the overlay. Yes, foldables are in trouble for Samsung. Bad foldables. Good candy bar design. Does anybody call them candy bar? It's kind of old school, but that's technically what they're called, candy bar style. So getting back to summing it up, I gotta run. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Slim is going to be released in about 3 weeks. We thought it was going to be in May, in the second quarter of 2025. We got new information. It's going to be released alongside the S25 series. And that's not the best part. Well, might be the best part, but we do know it will have a flagship level camera setup. It's going to have the same camera sensors as the S25 Ultra. So you're going to get that 200 megapixel sensor that the S25 Ultra is going to have. The S25 and S25 Plus are not going to have that. The 200 megapixel flagship camera setup is only going to be on the S25 Slim and S25 Ultra. Now, how slim is it going to be? I think we discussed a few days ago, it's going to be just over 6 millimeters thick, or thin, however you want to look at it, which is still a little thicker than what the iPhone 17 Air is supposed to come in at. The iPhone 17 Air is supposed to be, I believe 4.9, maybe 5 millimeters thick, which is even thinner. But it'll seem thinner, it'll feel thinner in your hand compared to the S25 Plus, because that's the model it will be comparable to in looks. It's going to have the Slim is going to have a 6.7 inch Super AMOLED display, right? LTPO. It's going to be decked out. It'll have base 12 gigs of RAM, probably 256 gigs of storage. That will be the phone to get if you don't want the Ultra. If the Ultra is a little bit too big, then get the Slim. Now, as we mentioned, they're only producing limited quantities. How many do we know? Do we have a number? We do not. But it'll probably be a Samsung exclusive. And if you want one, probably going to have to order day one that they're available, pre-order sale. We do not have a price. I'm assuming they are going to have a little higher price tag on the S25 Slim just because it is a special model. So if the S25 Plus starts out at $1,000 and the S25 Ultra starts out at $1,200 or $1,250, I think they're going to put this new one at like $1,100, like right in between. It's technically better than the S25 Plus, right? It's special because it's super thin, it's razor thin, and it's going to have the S25 Ultra camera setup. It'll have the top-notch everything camera, so it'll be more expensive than the Plus, but less expensive than the Ultra because the Ultra is bigger and it has an S Pen. So I'm thinking right at about $1,100, or maybe $1,150, something like that. And then the S25 Ultra will be $1,250, $1,300. I don't know. But very, very, very good news today. I'm gonna link if y'all want to check it out. I have to run here at 4:30, which is in 1 minute. I'm gonna link these in the description box. Check this out. We'll take a peek real quick. Not this. Here we go. S25 release date is February 7th. Now, the Unpacked event is in January, late January. That's when they announce all of them. That's when you can pre-order them. And February 7th is the date where Samsung ships them out to customers, or you can go into Best Buy and buy one, or you can go into T-Mobile and buy a S25 series. So that's the first day of actual users get them in their hands. But very good news. Did somebody tweet? I can't remember who tweeted. Anyways, I'm going to link this in the description box for everybody. In fact, I'll do that right now. So come back. If you want to check it out, come back to this video. After I'm done, there is the report. Save that. And all you got to do is refresh your... When this ends, just come right back to the video and look in the description box and you can read up on it. And let me not forget, let me put the sales Anyways, I'll find the, actually, you know what? I think the sales was down here. Whatever. I'll find the declining sales news article and put that in the link below. But at least y'all have the S25. So I'm excited for this device. I just don't know if many people are going to be excited as well. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be very nice. It's going to be nice and thin. Not as thin as the iPhone, but it is what it is, right? Beggars can't be choosers. So that's the one I plan on getting. Although I kind of do want an Ultra, but maybe I'll get both. Whatever. Let me get out of here. I got to run. Appreciate the time. Hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable rest of the day. If you're traveling, please, please, please be safe. Drive safe. And we will live stream tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to live stream on Christmas, but we'll definitely get one in tomorrow. So appreciate the time. Thank you very much. And as always, I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace out. Thank you.